512 meg of video memory. It's a floppy disk. Why did I agree to do this? It's not been the smoothest experience, but I think we can get it working just enough to show you. Ladies and gentlemen, inside this box we have something super special. And a lot of you guys may actually know what's in this box better than me, because today we are doing the ultimate old versus new PC gaming challenge. Intel reached out with this really cool idea where they said, why don't you build an old PC all around Crysis and then do the same with a brand new one with Crysis Remastered, and you can not only tell the difference when it comes to actually building the PC, but of course the gaming experience as well. How have things moved on? How have they changed? And are we in a lot better place than we were before? Spoiler alert, yes. Yes, we are. The way that this is going to work is pretty simple. Inside we have our box of goodies that Intel have actually sent me. They managed to get hold of some cool hardware, and I actually did the same when it comes to our PC gaming case. This is actually from NZXT. I can't remember the name of it now, but I got this on eBay for around about £40, and that actually comes with a DVD drive, oh yes, a few fans, a power supply, and I think he accidentally left a hard drive in there, which has God knows what on it. You can see you'd have all of your different CD drives and things here. We'd have a 3.5-inch slot for maybe a card reader, fan controller, but not really much airflow. I think it was thought about, but it wasn't designed the same way that it is now. We've got USB 3, this would have been brand new at the time. USB 2, eSATA. I mean, I've never used an eSATA port before, to be honest, but I don't know, if you have, let me know down in the comment section below. But something that actually I think a lot of people would still want is this sideways fan here. And obviously it's not really going to work with tempered glass, but this is good old acrylic. I think even having a windowed side panel in this era was still relatively new, because PC hardware just didn't really look that great. I think I actually did pretty well, to be honest with you, finding that case, because it's an old case that still looks a little bit modern, but I think when you put it side by side next to our RTX 3080 10900K ultimate gaming computer, you can pretty much see that we have come on just a little bit. But of course this is going to be a fair bit more power hungry as well, so we're going to need a bigger power supply, better thermals I guess to get rid of all that heat. But not only can you see all of your internals, not only will it all light up, but everything is just a lot cleaner, better thought out I guess, and if you are after something that's going to be pretty visual to put on your desk, then this is obviously going to fit the bill. But yes, look at this absolute monstrosity inside. Oh, the dust at the back, can you see that? Oh. Anyway, let's move on to what arguably is even more interesting, our old box of random hardware. And there's no particular order to do this, but at the top we have a graphics card, and this is absolutely tiny. And I guarantee at the time this was probably what, the biggest one you could get? I mean, what is this? This is a GeForce 3800 GTS, 512 meg of video memory, so that's a lot. Here we have two DVIs, and that looks like a PS2 connector. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna upset so many people with this video. I'm sorry, this was before my time, okay? We have a Cooler Master Hyper TX3 Evo, which I assume is old. Oh yes, I know what this is. It's another hard drive, because one wasn't enough. This is the Asus E-Green M disc. So we can, I don't know, play two DVDs at the same time. I mean, to be fair, there was a reason it was included, is because the copy of Windows is actually, of course, on a disc. Windows 7, I mean, that's definitely cheating a little bit. I thought I asked for Vista. Has anyone asked for Vista before, like genuinely wanted Vista? Here we have our motherboard. It is the DP45SG. Wow, these are like fluorescent SATA cables. They should keep making these. Those are cool. Here it is, our motherboard. Oh yeah, that looks super cool. They don't make them like this anymore, do they? This actually is really lightweight as well. There's like nothing on it. Like normally you'd have all of these like VRM, Normally you'd have all of these VRM heat sinks and things on the top to actually keep everything cool, but I think the power demands of this, you know, you just didn't really need to do all of that stuff. I mean, we've only got, what's that, a 4-pin at the top rather than an 8, ATX 24. So yeah, you're definitely putting less power into this. So I guess thermals weren't such a big deal back then. Wait a minute, there's no addressable RGB on this. Intel, you sent me a dud. Whoa, it's a floppy disk. It's a floppy disk. A RAID driver on a floppy disk. I haven't seen one of these since, what, 1999? Do also get a CD though. Wow, it's DDR3, 2 gigabytes of the stuff, running at 1,333 megahertz. This probably isn't how the original CPU shipped, unsurprisingly, because it says travel adapter, world, US, cell phone, laptop, new, made in China. I mean, if that was the original packaging, you've come on a long way, Intel. But inside our bubble wrap, we have our CPU. Keeping it nice and safe. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Really cute, actually. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Intel? What is this? SSD? There is no way this was present in 2007. It's almost like they're trying to cheat a little bit and speed up my process, which I do appreciate. But for authenticity, maybe I should just install this on the hard drive. Don't make me do it. Please don't make me do it. Shall I just label this as a how to build a gaming PC 2021 and see if anyone notices? This is the latest cutting edge tech. So as always, we're going to put our motherboard on its box. I'm going into how to build a PC mode now, aren't I? Line up that gold arrow. And interestingly, I don't know where the gold arrow is. Let's line this up. Building computers is bad enough when they don't work and you have to try and fix them, but trying to fix something from 2007, I'm really not up for that. So I really hope this works. Oh wow, it's tiny. It is tiny. I mean, I was gonna say they don't make them like this anymore. I mean, they sort of do. This should just be able to slot down. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Which means we can move on to our PC case. I can guarantee the PC we're building here is definitely a lot worse than whatever was in here before. We are cooking on gas. That's a computer. Look at it, it's cool. Maybe this case is too modern. It doesn't look old enough. We've got this really cool looking motherboard, and then, I don't know, the rest looks a bit normal. I was after, you know, the full shebang. I think we've just got the shebang. Where does that leave us then? Well, not much cable management room, so for the authentic experience, let's just plug our ATX straight in. Our CPU power cable doesn't have enough reach to go around the back, so we're gonna go ugly. These must be our front panel connections. Oh, they're color-coded. That's neat. That's why they do it. Which only leaves our graphics card, which we've now got to sort of tuck in next to this cable. Yes, there we go. It's looking different, isn't it? Not great though. Remember all those cables that are color-coded? Well, they don't actually match up to the color of the motherboard. I knew I was doing it wrong, but I thought, no, I'll do it anyway. How confusing must this have been? Ironically, this still looks a little bit better than my first ever PC that I built. This isn't too bad, but I think that's because I don't really care what it looks like. Oh God, the bit I'm dreading though, seeing if it works. There are so many things that could go wrong. No idea if the power supply works. It's from FSP Group. It could blow me up. I don't have an old CRT monitor, so we're gonna have to go 4K 144 Hertz for the real authentic experience. Oh God, oh God, oh God, genuinely scared. Where's the power button? That's also a good question. Where is the power button? I found it, I worked it out, it's here. Oh, it's done something. Hard drive spurred into life. We've got a little beep. Yay! Yes! Yes! Put our copy of Windows in. Windows is loading files. We're getting a pretty nasty smell as well. I don't know what that's from, but I don't like it. It smells old and burning. Why did I agree to do this? Your clock is behind. A private connection could not be reached because it thinks it's Tuesday the 5th of February 2008. I mean, it feels like it. Well, here we are then. It is a new day, and this has definitely not been the smoothest setup in the world, but the whole process was slow, it was painful, and unfortunately it does seem like I've got a slightly dodgy graphics card. It probably is just its age. It was quite difficult to find a right driver for it as well. It seems that you can only play a game for around about 10 minutes before the whole thing blue screens and then goes to this lovely pink and green artifacted mess. It's not been the smoothest experience, but I think we can get it working just enough to show you, you lucky people. I also like the fact that with our brand new PC, with that 10900K and RTX 3080, we can actually record everything that's going on the old PC while we're going to be playing Crysis on that as well to do a side-by-side comparison. So if that doesn't show you how far we've come, I really don't know what will. We're running high settings across the board, and we're running at 720p, because yes, remember, this is pretty much before Full HD monitors were really taking off, and yeah, being able to run Crysis at 1080p on this system, no. So this is Crysis, the original Crysis, running on our system. So we have that lovely Intel quad-core chip there, working its magic. This game is pretty single-threaded, but it does of course allow your PC not to completely seize up. This was definitely cutting edge at the time. Our graphics chip is running the game actually at a pretty decent frame rate. This feels nice and smooth. Getting a fair bit of tearing though. FreeSync and G-Sync definitely weren't around at this time. I'm astounded. I did not expect it to look this good. I really didn't. I want to know what our frame rate is as well. I'll see if I can get a frame rate counter up, but obviously the whole meme is, can it run Crysis? But this PC from 2007 at high settings, 720p, certainly could. Goes to show really, doesn't it? That Intel Q6600 clearly was cutting edge at the time. Getting a little bit more technical, here is the game in windowed mode, and you can see that single-threaded applications were very much a thing back then, so we have around about 90% utilization on that CPU and a max temperature of 59 degrees. But looking at that frame rate counter, we're getting around about 40 frames a second or so. It's dipping as we go into the forest now, so this does actually start to show just how demanding this game is. But remember as well that it still stands up in terms of appearance. So you think a PC from 2007, what, this was the Xbox 360 era, it was always going to be very difficult for it. Can it run Crysis? It can, but I want to see the remastered version. Shall we swap over? I love how the menu is laid out in exactly the same way, except we now have this can it run Crysis setting. Oh, and don't forget that we are also playing in 4K, and the real kicker is that we're still recording our old PC's footage on this computer at the same time. So that 10900K from Intel is definitely getting a workout. Computers are cool, aren't they? They're so cool, really cool. Here we go then, and okay, that looks just a little bit better. And of course it feels a whole lot better as well. We've got the benefit of having FreeSync running as well, or G-Sync compatibility. So that is 66 frames a second, pretty constant around that magic number. Fully utilizing our GPU. Our CPU is there when we need it. I've pressed the wrong button. Can I get out of this one? And I've just realized as well that the noise that I can hear is still coming from this PC, not the other one. Things have just got so much more efficient, so much more powerful, and the capability of these machines is so impressive, so impressive. I haven't actually played the original Crysis all the way through, so I think this is a very good opportunity for me to do so. So here we are then, our old versus new PC gaming challenge. Did you need me to show you which one was the old one and which was the new? Was that not obvious? Not only do we have better looking visuals, but we've moved from resolutions like 720p all the way to 4K with a computer that can actually deal with all of those frames a second. And we've also been able to record whilst doing so. A seriously massive thank you though to Intel for actually sponsoring this video and making it all possible. It's been so cool to do something completely different, and I would like to say that Intel supplied all of the parts to make this possible as well, and I bet you guys are really jealous of a graphics card that can run Crysis at 30 frames a second at 720p and then crashes after 15 minutes. A massive thank you for you guys for actually checking out this video though. If you want to learn a little bit more about the Core i9 or anything else that is featured in this PC, then you can with my Amazon affiliate links listed down below. Don't forget to get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and if you have liked it, please hit that like button. It really does make a big difference, and I suppose with content like this that is a little bit more edgy, it does make it possible. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.